from Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yep.
Welcome in, everyone, to the Grandpa-N-Pappy Show.
Good.
For a Wednesday edition. We hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on in this crazy world of ours, and we're going to try to touch on some of them. And in particular, I should say, the question of the day, which seemed to touch a lot of you, maybe a wrong nerve, maybe should we say, but we had some great comments as usual.
They need to get it out of their system.
Which we will get to, and
Yep.
it's just simply, did the Supreme Court turn its back on the Constitution by refusing to even look at the Texas lawsuit? And we'll be talking about that. Of course, the voting has started in Georgia, Pappy, and
Yep.
we'll see what happens there. It's two very important runoff elections between Republicans and Democrats. And the Republicans are trying to hold on to the majority of the Senate. If not, it's going to be a long 4 years for us. It certainly is.
Yep.
And they are watching that election very, very closely. So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out and when the results will be made official. I did hear that Georgia officials are sending out millions of mail-in ballots to all of their residents in Georgia and those that used to live in Georgia. Now go figure.
And the ones that are buried in Georgia.
Yeah, it's the Lazarus effect, I guess you could call it.
My statement would be, if they would have watched the election as close as they claim they're doing this time, all this would be neat for all this crap to take place.
Well, yeah, but if they would allow it to happen, let's just put it that way.
There is an agenda, I'm sure.
There is an agenda for sure. Coming up Friday, we'll have another show for you. Monday is our big Christmas show that we'll do right before we take a Christmas break. And we're looking forward to it. All of you who have sent in Christmas decorations, be sure to join us on Monday because the illustrious Special K is going to put her magic
montage.
Yes, the magic montage together, and it should be a really, really good show.
Yep.
Why don't we do, let's go off script a minute. Why don't we get a greeting here to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. So, Special K, roll it.
Hi, we're the Hardys.
Wishing you a
Very Merry Christmas.
Beautiful family. Beautiful family.
And Merry Christmas to you, too.
Yes, and we couldn't say it any better. Merry Christmas to all of you out there. I hope you're getting all of your shopping done. We've already done a show on online and in-person shopping, and that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
But let's talk about the subject that we have today. Did the Supreme Court turn its back on the Constitution by refusing to even look at the Texas lawsuit that was filed? Let's jump right into it. Alton Schubert said no. It actually read and honored the Constitution. Texas has no standing in other states' elections. It's a states' right issue. Would you want California or New York to be able to challenge Texas's voter ID laws or election process? I would say no. What Trump needs to do is show evidence of real fraud in those states and have those states take action. But his team is yet to provide proof in any of the state courts. Well, they weren't challenging the actual laws. What they're challenging was that they changed them in midstream of the election.
It was the process of it all, yeah.
And so that's what the lawsuit was all about. So, anyway.
Fred Worley came back and told Alton that by stealing one vote in the U.S. election, they stole this Texans vote. Now, how many did they steal across the United States? It does affect all voters. It's a sad day in American history, and I'm inclined to agree with you, Fred.
Yeah, me too, Freddie.
Yep.
Sue Metters said, yes, they did. I think they have become a part of the swamp. Mary Adams Childers agreed by saying, I agree with everything you said. It's so sad that they covered up all of the Biden and Hunter stories until after the election. We all know Trump won. I hate all that pedophile stuff that they're talking about.
Making it legal.
Miss
Jesus
Mary.
Christ.
I swear.
Sherry Briggs Cone says anyone that can't see that huge widespread fraud happened is just either ignorant or insane. I'm sorry, but you are wrong. I feel betrayed by the highest court in the land.
Yeah.
Alton then came back and asked, then why has many conservative Republican appointed and elected officials ruled that there is no proof of fraud? You have the right to your opinions, but facts are facts.
Yeah, Eddie Dixon said, y'all need to stand with the 3% we need to take your country back. Enough is enough. We need to rise against tyranny.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Well said, Eddie. Robert J. Simpson said, personally, I feel as though they did. They didn't even want to review it. The post on this site just goes to show you how divided this country really is. Where is the common sense in all of this?
There's those words again.
There it is, those two words. What the Texas lawsuit stated was that they objected to the election process in all states. Since election processes need to be approved and passed by it is said is dangerous precedents. That's pretty deep.
That is deep, and it's
it's
pretty true.
Yeah, it is.
Right there. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I know one thing, Pappy. They're going to have to get hold of all of this fraud stuff. Now, we found out from a Michigan audit that the Dominion program that they use for the election process promotes fraud. That's official now.
Yeah.
And even though Dominion is coming back and saying, no, that's not true, the guy that did the audit, this guy's got more pedigrees than all the dogs in the United States. And I'm telling you, this guy knows what he's talking about. And he opened it up and, he did the audit and said, hey, it's not.
When the audit showed that there was a 68% error
Yeah,
in the running of the audit.
that's correct.
So 68% of the votes were incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a high percentage.
Yeah.
And I believe they ran the same amount of votes for each side. And that's how they determined that something was going on within the system.
Yeah, didn't you tell me that what they did, they took, and I'm just using this for an example, everyone, 1,000 votes for Biden, 1,000 votes for Trump, okay? They ran it through the machine, and Biden got 68% of the vote.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
They have an algorithm in there that's giving a percentage.
Yeah.
This should be 1 for 1, which is like elementary.
Yeah.
You have 1 vote for 1 vote. And that's not the way that it's coming out through the system. It's coming out given a 1.23% to Biden and 80-something% or whatever the math is to Trump. So as it adds up, of course Trump's going to lose.
Yeah.
Common
I
core
tell you
math.
what, yeah, and if that is accepted, then all these swing states that use the Dominion program is going to come under scrutiny, and it looks like Congress is going to be determining who the President of the United States is. As you all know, the Electoral College certified Joe Biden as the president-elect, but it has to go to Congress on January 6th, I believe, and they have to ratify it there in the Congress. Now, what happens, and we were made aware of this, that Vice President Mike Pence, who is over the Senate, if one Republican stands up and challenges this results and gets a second, then they break up into groups. The House goes their way, Senate goes their way, and those, I'm just using, for example, in the House, all of the Texas representatives get together, all of the Arizona representatives get together, they can cast one vote, and they have got to come up with a decision on who they are going to vote for. They have, from what I understand, a little more than 2 hours to make up their mind. Then it reconvenes, they cast the ballots, and then the president will be named.
You think they would know with all the crap they've gone through. So.
Yeah, but it's going to be very interesting since the Supreme Court is not going to hear the case. It's going to go down to the Congress. Is what it's going to go down to.
Well, the Republicans outnumber the Democrats in the House, don't they?
Yes, there's more red states than blue states. So if they stick to their guns, President Trump will have 4 more years in office. And this one post said they realize that if that happens, widespread chaos will break out. And I know you're loaded for bear. I'm loaded for bear. And a lot of people we know are loaded for bear in case that happens.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out, everyone. It's going to be very, very interesting.
I think the chaos is going to take place regardless to who lands in the Oval Office. So
I agree.
it's out of hand.
Brent Hardy said, I'm so ashamed of our country as a whole right now. Justin Sisk said, so what's new? And Melanie Sisk said, that's right, brother.
And I don't know who sent this in because it isn't tagged, but he claims he has his own constitution, and that's called survival.
Survival. I like that. Actually, that's pretty
That's
good.
about what it's come down to, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of about what you and I have been talking about the last few weeks.
Ain't it so?
Brian Emerton of Tennessee said, today's justice system has been bought out by the upper elites who want to ruin this country. It's time for a revolution. We don't need a government to control our money, our jobs, or how we live. We need police. We need firemen, hospitals, and that's it. The government needs to shut down and Congress members stripped of that cash flow. This is not America anymore.
Not America as I know it. That's a fact. Christina Williams said no, they're honoring the Constitution. There is no evidence of fraud. There is no steal. Trump lost the election fair and square. All these lawsuits and civil unrest that he is causing is dangerous, pathetic, and sad. Move on, please. Can we just have a normal democracy and celebrate that?
Well, Christina, I respect your opinion. However, let me say this. It is not the Trump supporters that's going out doing all the rioting and looting and destructing and things like this and painting stuff on the streets. It's not.
Yep.
So,
And
what do you got?
I just want to say, how dare any Democrat say to move on when they never moved on from the 2016 election and gave Trump so much hell
Isn't that
for
the
4
truth?
years. So come on, get real. Y'all have never accepted that race. We will never accept this race. So tit for tat.
That's it.
So how do you really feel?
It makes me angry.
She's starting to get
It makes me
unwound.
angry that
Yeah.
they are saying, oh, we're going to be unified. Well,
Yeah.
no.
All of a sudden?
Biden can't even put 3 sentences together or say somebody's name correctly.
Did you see where the
God.
where the American Medical Association now, after the election, has said that doctors should treat COVID patients with hydroxychloroquine when they should have been
Do
doing it
say.
the whole time?
Do say.
Holy mackerel! It is so stacked.
Well,
It is so stacked. I just can't believe it.
You know, the majority of the people I know are expecting a miracle cure of this COVID-19 once all the dust settles. So
Yeah, we got a video in last night from Brian Emberton up in Tennessee of an Italian doctor, and you got to read
Yeah.
along because it
Yeah, I saw that.
translates what he's saying. That is some scary, scary stuff.
Yep.
And if that's the case, and we know a Southwest Airlines pilot that told us,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
that it's going to get down to where you cannot fly on an airline unless you have a
Period.
certificate to show that you took this virus.
Both domestic and international, I
Yeah,
believe it
the
said.
vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's scary.
It's crazy.
That nuts. Jumping
Crazy,
Jim.
crazy, crazy.
Yeah, but it's still a conspiracy theory. I read it along with you, and
Yeah.
I just can't believe anybody would want to eliminate 80% of the world population. I just don't see that ever.
Ask the
being-
Nazis.
Bill Gates.
Yeah,
These 2.5%ers go to a World Summit meeting and talk about world population. Gates says that the world population needs to be down to 500 million.
Yeah.
So that'd be about right. I mean, what
Yeah.
is there, 17 billion of us?
I'm not
Probably.
sure, but there's a bunch of us.
Yeah.
James Williams said the only reason Ted Cruz is doing this is to get the attention of the Trump loyalists so they will know his name when 2024 comes around.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure I would not vote for Senator Cruz. I'm telling you, not because he's from Texas. It's because he's one of the few that's had the balls to stand up to what's going on.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
We finally have someone up in Congress who has the cojones to get up and stand up for what is right.
Yep.
And that is so, what's the word I'm looking for? So unusual in Congress these days. They all cow down to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer.
Well, they follow that money trail.
Yeah, and follow the money trail. That's an exact point right there.
Yep. Billy Green asked Christina Williams, how could she blame the civil unrest on Trump? It all started with Black Lives Matter movement created by none other than Barack Obama. It started before President Trump even took the Oval Office. BLM movement has evolved into not working for the betterment of the black community, but has become a key instrument and fundraising arm for the Democratic Party. That's been proven. It is Trump supporters or Republicans taken to the streets looting and burning? No. We're walking on dangerous ground here, and America needs to be careful. The LC is already calling for an abolishment of the Second Amendment and taking away our firearms. If Biden is installed as president, the dam holding back and protecting our country will collapse and civil war will break out.
Yep. That dam is under a lot of stress right now. I'm
There you
telling
thought
you.
there, Brother Billy, but that's well said.
It is well said. I mean, you stop and think about it. I mean, we've had program after program about this in some form or fashion, and it's just, it's concerning. It's very concerning, and people out there, you Americans, have got to start thinking straight. Even if you're Democrats, and I'm not holding that against you, because that is your right to believe the way you want to believe. However, I just can't believe that you are not seeing what's going on in your party and the destruction of America that you're trying to do right now.
I don't
It's
care
just-
if you're Republican or Democratic.
Wow.
If you will just spend just simply 2 or 3 days over in a third world country, that'll change your whole damn outlook
Why
on
do you think so many people
what's
are
going
trying
on.
to come to the United States of America to get away from all of that
shit,
stuff and have a chance at succeeding?
Yep.
That's the big thing. And if you can't see that, folks, something is wrong. Something is very, very wrong.
See that you're in the wrong damn country, in my opinion. So
Well, we appreciate all of the opinions on it. It's
Yeah,
a
we do.
very good topic
yeah,
and something that needed to be discussed by not only Pappy and I, but with you. We needed to know what you thought, and as usual, you have come through again. You have come
that's
through
because
again, and
you rock.
you do rock. You do rock. Well, let's switch gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a little fun. Christmas coming up on us, and sometimes we just want to get rid of the politics and not worry about anything. So I ask on our Facebook page, what are some of your fondest memories of Christmas?
God, there's so many.
Yeah.
So many of
Let
them.
me ask you. Let's start with you.
Well, it all revolves around the family. I remember when I was growing up in Lubbock, my grandparents lived halfway between 2 little spots on the road called Sudan and Muleshoe.
Yeah.
Little 2-bedroom house. There'd be 20, 30 of us gather out there for Christmas break. Mattresses everywhere, and
Yeah. Oh,
had a fresh aroma of grandma's cooking going on in the air. And
Oh, man, you can't beat it.
oh man, it's just, I think that's what would stand out more than anything. That spending time with my boys when they were babies for Christmas. It was such a fun time. How about yourself?
I think I'm agreeing with what you said. I think my fondest memories is going down to my grandma and grandpa's house And, of course, back then we had tons of cousins, even though we're dying off at a record pace now. But pallets everywhere, kids everywhere. The smell that you're talking about of all the ladies in there in the kitchen cooking. And one thing I do remember is when we were little, the older boys and the men would go out and find a Christmas tree and cut it down.
Oh, yeah?
All the little ones, we were stringing popcorn and cranberries and stuff like that. I can't tell you how many times I stuck my finger.
Oh, yeah.
But
done that myself a few times.
And we would do that on Christmas Eve morning.
Yeah.
We'd get down there the night before Christmas Eve, and that's what the plan was. The ladies would start cooking, and we would start the stringing, and the boys and men would go out and, excuse me, everybody's trying to get a hold of me today. But that's the thing I remember most, and I miss that the most.
Oh, man.
Because people today don't go travel to see their grandmother and grandfather.
That's true.
Let's dig in and see what you guys had to say. Joey Thiebaud said, waking up to the smell of bacon Christmas morning.
Oh, yeah.
Spending the day at my grandma's, hanging out in the kitchen, listening to all the woman talk, bitching and laughing, sneaking bites of whatever they were cooking, and grandma smacking my hands. Lots of laughs.
And her grandma just happens to be my Auntie Ben, my mom's
Is that
sister.
right?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Russell Curlin said it was all cousins sleeping on the floor at my dad's folks' place before Grandpa Curlin passed.
Yeah.
I got my workbench that year and loved that thing.
Well, there you go. Santa was good to him.
Yeah.
Lana Lackey said it was waking up at the crack of dawn and learning how to cook.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Lana. Wish you a Merry Christmas, too.
Yeah.
We sure do.
Up there in the panhandle of Texas.
Yes, sir.
Peter Mason said it was spending the Christmas holidays at Grandpa's with all my cousins, uncles, and aunts. We would all laugh till our sides hurt. A kid would play and the boys wrestled. Times were hard, but no matter if we only received a pair of socks, it was great fun. Boy, how I miss those days when times were simpler, families were closer, and we all knew the real meaning of what Christmas was all about.
Bingo.
I think we have all forgotten that and made Christmas too commercialized.
Boy, that is the absolute truth.
I agree with you, Peter. Yep.
That is the absolute truth. And that,
All
you know,
about that
he
dollar.
touched on something. That's what my grandma, I mean, of course, she had so many grandkids. All the boys got a pair of socks.
Yeah.
And all the girls got these little hankies that they call, you know, because back then the girls did carry little handkerchiefs,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So we always thought that was the greatest thing in the world, you know.
What I
That
remember.
was just a prelude of things to come when we get home and Santa's been there, you know.
Yeah, that's when you get the good stuff like the Fruit of the Loom underwear and a small bottle of English leather.
Now, remind me to tell you the story on Monday. Monday's our Christmas show.
Yeah.
Remind me to tell you the story that I haven't figured out to this day, and I'm pushing 70 years old.
Yeah.
It's a good story
bet
about
it is.
Santa Claus.
Uh-oh.
And I have not figured it out to this day. Alice Harvey said she remembered sitting around the tree waiting for Daddy to say, go. Then we all started grabbing and opening gifts. Yeah. Yeah.
Donna Briggs Moss said many years ago when I was raising 3 boys by myself, they all wanted to get me a Christmas present. That, of course, meant I had to come up with money that I just didn't have.
Yeah.
I sat them all down and told them that to go through the catalog and pick out whatever they wanted me to have and cut it out and hang it on a tree, and it would be just what I wanted. Nothing like a mother's love, is it?
I'm telling you.
I worked night shift, and when I dragged in early the next morning, I found my tree completely covered with hundreds of things cut out and put on that tree.
How sweet is that?
Wish I had taken a picture because it was heartwarming. It was a heartwarming thing to see. By far one of my best Christmases ever.
Donna Ray, I believe that. My goodness.
That's what memories are made.
She
made
is
from, that kind of
a
stuff.
wonderful, wonderful person.
Sound like she did a good job with them babies too.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. That's a heartwarming story.
It is.
I really appreciate you sending that in, Donna Ray.
Yeah.
You never know what Patrick McDivitt will say. He said one Christmas we had a Santa staying with us. Granny made him sandwiches. He told me all about the way things worked at the North Pole. Santa's sister would come over and cook, then sit in the hot tub with Santa. He beat up the kids who made fun of me and tried to teach me how to fight. Even though the police shot him in front of my house, he survived, and I got a bicycle and a pink elephant out of the deal. Oh, that reminds me, I got to rent that movie again for Christmas and watch it. Patrick.
The one with Macaulay
Had me
Culkin.
going there for a minute.
Kimberly Smith Hogg said her favorite was when her mom got to come home from the hospital in the aluminum tree with the color wheel.
Mm-hmm.
My first purple swing bike was silver sparkle banana seat. Loved that thing. Those are called Stingrays, I do believe, weren't
Yeah, I believe so.
they? Yeah.
And I do remember those aluminum trees with the color wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, those were
We had-
those were very fashionable back.
We had a 6-footer.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yep.
Crawford Young said, when I saw Santa and all of his reindeer taking off from my roof of my house one Christmas is what he remembers.
Yeah.
And I wonder what he was smoking.
I don't know. It was better than what I got. Deborah Brusofolio said we were going home to Mom and Dad's about 4 hours away, so I mailed my little girl's presents there. The day before we were to leave, an ice storm was coming in and would shut everything down. I went out after work and bought more presents and decorations. Really couldn't afford it, but the bright smile on my one-year-old's face was well worth it. She also got a second gift day when my gifts and her grandparents' gift arrived in the mail.
I'll bet she did.
That was exciting
Yeah,
stuff.
no
man.
kidding.
I used to get a Christmas card with 2 $1 bills in it from
There you go.
Macy's. I was
And
rich.
finally, Danny L. Parks simply said it was at Grandma's house. That's his.
Enough said right there.
Yes, sir.
Grandma's house. About
Let's
there.
let's get another Christmas greeting in here for you,
Okay.
and wish you a Merry Christmas as we wrap up this segment of the Grandpa-N-Pappy Show. So, Special K, take it away.
Hi, we're the Jones family, wishing you a
Very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys.
That's right.
Absolutely. We got some viewer comments in this week. Let's take a look at those. We received good feedback on our show. What you learned about yourself this year. Jason Terry said that I really like shopping when people have to stay 6 feet away from me. Shirley Mills said me too.
That's the best way to shop. You won't find that at any Walmart, will you?
No, you will not.
Crawford Young also commented saying that many of his suspicions about government and people are no longer suspicions anymore.
I got that. I heard that.
It's learning it the hard way.
Belinda Tatum said she threw in her opinion by saying we've seen the corruption for years and we need to fight for America now.
Yeah. And Anna Marie Rose said the Democrats are determined to make every citizen a Democrat, depend on them for everything down to the air we breathe. We need to rise up. This ain't your ancestors' America anymore.
Well, I heard that, Mary Hannah. Thank you very much for that. J.D. Powell watched our show on Christmas shopping online or in person.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't do either. I order stuff all year long online. Give them out for Christmas presents and not worry about it. They don't like what I get them. Tough. It is what it is.
That's right. Little kids in Africa don't get that kind of stuff, by God.
No, they don't. Sitting around in his underwear drinking a cold beer, and he sees something he likes, he just orders it, has it delivered, and sticks it back in the room.
My kind of shopping.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been a lot of fun today.
Yeah.
We have
Good
enjoyed
show.
it so much. And if you have a comment or suggestion on what we can cover here on the Grandpa-N-Pappy Show,
Yep.
it's very easy. If you look over my shoulder, right there is the first way. Just send them to Grandpa-N-Pappy at gmail.com.
Good way to do it right there. By
Or-
God. Or you can hit us up directly on our show website page at www.grandpa-n-pappy.com. That's grandpa, the letter N, pappy.com. There you'll see that big red button right there. Just push it. Devise a simple to remember little old password to go with it. Subscribe to the show. We'd love to have you on board.
You know what I want for Christmas from our viewers?
What's that?
I want all of our almost 2,000 viewers on our Grandpa-N-Pappy Facebook page to go on and subscribe
By God.
to YouTube, to the Grandpa-N-Pappy Show. That would be a great Christmas gift for Pappy and I.
That's some serious
We
ho-ho-hos
appreciate
right there by God. 2000.
Grandpa-N-Pappy
Come on.
Facebook group is where you'll see most of the opinions that we read here on the show.
Some unedited, too, by God.
Some of them are unedited. Some we have to change the words just a little bit not to offend anybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, coming up on Friday, another show for you as we close out the week and get ready for our big Christmas show on Monday. So we invite you
Don't want to miss it.
join us then as we tell you at the end of every one of our shows, we want you to hug your kids and let them know you love them.
Let them know they're loved right here at the Grandpa-N-Pappy show, too, by God, amigo.
Absolutely.
Love them babies.
Till we see you back on Friday, take care of each other. Be safe. God bless you, and God bless the United States. See you Friday.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.